Hello everybody, this is TechStack. Guys, spent some time offline working out a few things. Got the issue fixed with the buttons not working, right? So that was good. Hey Tinkerbell. Got the team showing, got a ready indicator showing, got the buttons for the teams, got the buttons for the ready working. Tested, and that's why I'm running the server here. Tested connecting to a server and having two clients running at the same time, both of them connecting and them being able to see each other's updates. And that's what I'm going to show off here once this gets started up. It does take a minute for the... Ooh, I just about clicked on that X. So this is the Minecraft server starting in the background here. I'm going to put this off on another screen because we don't need to really care or see about that. And while that's starting, I'm going to monitor my CPU usage, because if I were to fire off all three of these, I was seeing my CPU usage does suffer. In fact, even right now it's at 70% with just the server running. So the server does chew through CPU as it starts up. So once this gets settled, we'll fire up another Minecraft client, let it get loaded, and then do the same for that. So it might be settling out here. It's coming down into the 30s. All chunks are saved. Looks like the spawn area is loaded, and we can see it's kind of tapering off on some of these graphs. So let's go ahead and try and fire off a run of two different clients. So I did different run configurations for these, and my CPU probably will spike again as it's starting up the next instance. And I see this as a good thing, right? So notice that all 12 of my logical cores are ramping up together. I don't think that used to happen in the old Minecraft, because they have multi-threaded loading of all the classes and everything in 1.14 from a Forge perspective. At least that's my understanding. So we should see some pretty efficient loading here. Hey CC.
Hello.
You were my guinea pig, by the way.
Guinea pig? What?
Yeah, you'll see in a minute.
Okay, I need to pull up the stream.
I just used your name, that's all. I needed another name for another Minecraft user to connect to the server, so it would let me. I literally just typed C and Z. Okay, let's see here. Second one is starting. Gonna move that off to the side here. And once this one loads all the way, we'll be good. Hey, Spooderman. So, I did see your message about the textures, as far as what to put on the blocks, and I've been wondering the same thing myself. You know, initially to keep them separate, I was thinking for me, I was gonna put like I don't know, like TH on the town hall and B on the barracks, etc. Yeah, that'll work great.
Well, I'm just wondering if... I think it would be nice to have something like this where you have an identifiable control block. And so I started with a crafting table that somebody else had made, and then just like modified some of the tools on it some, and to make them look more generic, sort of. I don't know what they are, but
It doesn't matter.
it
That's
doesn't
awesome.
matter. And then the top, you can show the color of the team, and then I tried to draw a star. I could probably make that star look better, but I figured you could do a star for the barracks, maybe, or town hall, or we need to come up with a symbol for each type of control point.
That'll actually help. So if we do that, so I'm going to start up the game here, join the server on both of these, so we can show what I was going to show, and then I'll get into what you're talking about, because I need something for the items, and of course this is in survival. So you can see the respawn. Jeez, stupid zombie. Why is the second one not joining? Oh, is my CPU gonna keep up with this while streaming too? Probably not. Let's kill this, and let's do kill at A. Oh, he's not. Didn't save that you're opt. Slash opt as easy. What?
If you have it pushed to Jenkins, I can download it and try it out.
Right, but this is a test server that's not open to the internet right now because it's running from my dev environment. It's not like on TSCraft.
Could you not just like push it to your master branch and put it on the build server?
We could, but there's a good chance it'll crash something. I haven't taken it far enough that it won't crash reliably, so that's why I'm still doing this way.
I'm just saying, if your computer can't keep up with it, we can try that, and I don't mind getting a little annoyed with crashes while I'm not actually playing the game.
Gotcha. I would be annoyed with it if it starts to cause things to be removed in the world, though. That's the kind of crashes I'm worried about on that server. So, a normal, we need to restart it, no big deal. Okay, so let's demonstrate this, and then we'll get into what we need to talk about. So we've got both teams on red. I think this one's CZ, this one over here is TechStackDev. So if I hit blue, you see, okay, this one's TechStackDev, this one's CZ. TechStackDev goes blue on both of them. If I hit CZ's blue, it goes blue. Same for green, same for yellow. It just works all around, and everybody sees that update immediately. So that's a lot of network packets back and forth, right? So when you click a button, it says, I want to go to red. It sets the player on red on the server, and then the server says, oh, by the way, everybody, TechStack just went red. Okay, and then as soon as you click one of these buttons, the ready button opens up as available to you. My stomach is making noises, sorry. If I hit ready, we can see that we're ready, and if I hit ready over here, we can see that we're ready. So that is all working. The next step is on some loop somewhere, or a button for an opt to click needs to open up when everyone's ready. This is start game, right? That's all there's to it. I also need to go through and when ready's clicked, leave these enabled, or leave the ready enabled, but change it to say on ready, and then when you click it, it goes disabled again, and these enable. So I need to toggle states on these better than what I'm doing right now. The other thing I wanted to talk about, let's kill this extra Minecraft so we don't kill my CPU here. Awesome. Game mode. I'm not opt. That's because I'm TechStackDev. Okay, so op dev. There we go. Game mode. Creative. Okay, so this is here is what I'm talking about. These items need some texture as well as the blocks, right? Because these are what we're going to actually place down to spawn in the whole structure. So without these having a texture, it's not going to be very obvious what you're using. In fact, what is this? This town hall. It's a pretty big building. Oh, grass is going to be in the way.
I think it makes even more sense to have a specific symbol for
yes,
for each one.
Yes, that's what I was trying to get to without actually saying it. Let's get a different
Will
one.
grass actually keep you from building? It will, won't it?
It will, because I was stupid and just looked to see if it's a block and didn't see if it's a block that can be removed.
Is that a block type in the default code?
It should be. What is this? Barracks is kind of big. Emerald? Emerald's not real. There we go. Okay, so they spawn in. Yeah, we're gonna need some big play areas, and what I can do is there's a setting that says it's replaceable. So like if I were to get a block like this and go in survival, there are certain blocks in the game that you can just replace even in survival, right? That's a setting that I can check for if it's a replaceable. What happened to that block?
I just realized that texture that I made is 32 by 32, not
Oh, we don't want that.
16 by 16. So I'll have to fix that.
Well, apparently something's happening with this server running on my computer and streaming at the same time, because the blocks are just disappearing. But my point is, I can check for that. I think flowers may not be like that, so I might need to check for a few different things. But that should be doable. Like, that's just minor tweaks to the code. So I guess this proves out we'll need to start testing in real worlds so we get real scenarios coming up like that. Okay, so what is next on the list?
Does the texture have to be 16 by 16?
They just fit better with the rest of Minecraft from what I've found. Especially for items. Items, if you don't have them 16 by 16, they look completely out of place. Although I was doing 64 by 64 when I did it, but it was bad. It was very, very bad. I actually need to step away for a bit, guys. I will be right back. Let's see. Let's do this screen, and I'll just mute my mic.
sun in my eyes. It can get better than when she makes that smile. Yeah, she's got that style that makes you think she's made out of gold. She's turning up the volume on the radio. Yeah. I'm gonna make it worth your while. I'm gonna make it worth your time. I'm gonna make it worth your while. When she's with me, we're like superstars. Windows roll down, radio on. I think we could go far. We don't need money. We can skip that part. All I want is her to be with me. She's got a ticket to my heart. Ticket to my heart. Uno, dos, tres, yo.
Okay, everybody, sorry about that. I'm back now. I hope I'm not getting sick, because that hit me all of a sudden. And before I started streaming, I was feeling really dizzy, which is kind of unusual. But I'm back. Space Engineers, I see you got it. You gotta use 2 numbers, man. I would go with something higher than 90 for the first number. And maybe like 60 power or something. Here, I'll join blue. Finish the game with you guys, and then say, let's try 110, 65. Oh, right angle. Too much power though. And tie. You can hear me, right, Susie? I did unmute myself.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So, oh, that's at 1616, really?
That's 16 by 16.
What the heck did they
The
use
32
for...
by 32 looks like it would fit in with Minecrafty stuff.
It does.
And it looks so much better.
It does. I don't have it open because I had to restart my computer earlier today, but there is a place where you can extract the actual images from Minecraft from the client jar. We can find it here. Mojang, blah 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 blah. Minecraft client extra. So where's the path to this? Can I do it here maybe? No, I'm out here. Show and explore. There we go. So that should open a new window for me. Right there it is. And I can go, this one is actually the one I'm on. Open an archive. And then net Minecraft. No, wait. Assets. Minecraft. Textures, block. So like crafting table, I guess.
Yeah, and what it looks like is that there's a different image file for crafting table top and side. So you have
Top, side, front.
different images for each side. How do you compile those together into one block?
So that's in the JSON files. So I'll show you in a sec. But there's basically a block state that has all the different states of a block. So if you think about it, something like a furnace has at least two different states. The furnace is off and the furnace is on. Those have different appearances. So that's what the block state does. The block state points to a block model JSON file, and the block model JSON file defines the shape of it and defines the texture for each side. You can say, I want you to have all the same sides on all sides, or same texture on all sides, or you can define them independently. So that's kind of how the structure works. So block state points to a model, block model points to a texture.
Okay, so the block state barracks block.json, that tells you which one goes to which face.
Which folder though?
In your mod, source main resources assets tsrts block states.
Block states, yes.
You have a JSON file for 3 different blocks that you've created.
Mm-hmm.
And then in there, it's telling it.
So I've got the file open on the stream, so I'll walk you through it if you're looking at the stream.
Yeah, it's a little delayed, but yeah.
Okay, so I'll try and go slow. The faces equals north and team equals red. That's a variation, so that's why it's under variance. And the property of the variation. So when it's facing north, it's going to do this when it's red as well, right?
Yeah.
So these are all the north-facing directions because my blocks, I set them up so that you can place them rotationally, right? So it's like a piston. This is the same when it's facing south, same when it's facing west and east and so on. The only thing that's really changing is the Y rotation, right? To rotate it to face that direction, and then the color of this block, right? So there's a red, blue. Okay, so these blocks barrack blue point to the block models block folder, and there's a file.
There's another JSON in there that calls the textures. Okay.
And in this case, right now, they're using the blocks cube all model as a parent. And in that one, there's a texture for all, which is applied to all the faces. Okay. There's another parent out there that is a sided one that you can say, I want this to be the top, I want this to be the back, I want this to be the side, and so on.
Okay, how do we do that?
Definition of how to do this is on the Minecraft wiki.
Okay, sweet.
So Minecraft wiki. Block states.json is probably what it's under, or not.
Block states variant multi-part.
Resource packs probably where it's under. models. Sounds, textures, animations, villagers, fonts. Where is it? Huh. The other thing I can do is I can just crack open one of the Minecraft ones, because they do the same thing. So in this jar file, I can go back up and go to, out of textures, to blocks or block states to find which model it is, but the model names are pretty obvious. I look for crafting table in here. CR. So there's cue ball, right? The definition of all. So all of those are alias to all. There's regular
it's
cube.
just block cube, I think.
Probably what it
And
is.
then you have up, down, north, south, east, west.
Yep, and those are just like you just said.
Wait, is it block cube or block block?
Cube. Let me look what the crafting table does. Let's find that in crafting table. It's parents to block cube. So if you parent to block cube, you can use this type of format and get what you want.
Yeah, and on the Minecraft wiki, they have an example using block cube as well, so I can do that.
In fact, I will just paste this to you in Discord here. That's the structure. Now, I don't have block states set up yet for all of the blocks that we have in the game. That's why they're showing with the pink and black texture right now.
Yeah, it looks like you only have 3.
I have 3, yeah. Because each one turns into 4 because of the teams. Now, back to Photoshop here for a minute. It looks like that this might be a 16 by 16. Image size, 16 by 16. For the texture of the top of the crafting table. And I'm assuming the sides are the same.
Yeah, I think the default size is 16 by 16. It just it doesn't look great when we're trying to get more detail than that.
What I found was on my machinery mod, when I had more detailed textures for items, they looked so bad. Like in Photoshop, they look great. You can tell what they were. But in game, they looked awful because they're basically blown up in the game. Oh, did we lose that file? Okay, we gotta find it again. Womp womp.
Yeah, like in general, you're saying it looks, if you have a 16 by 16 resource pack and you put a 64 by 64 block in there, it just looks out of place.
Yeah. Not saying we can't give it a try, like especially if you've already got the thing, we can throw it in there and see how it looks in game. You know, if you made a push up to GitHub, we could have it in my system in a few minutes. Try it. Where was Show and Explore? There it is. Oh
Yeah, I was gonna try and fix this. Let's see. You don't have a town hall block state set up yet, so I would have to create that.
with the name that I've used too, right? So I've
Yeah, what did
registered
you
it to
use?
a specific name. Hold on a sec. Not run. Sources main Java knit mod blocks, and you want the town hall. So if I go to that in my resources, the town hall is registered as town hall block. I've added block to them, even though that's not necessary. For my own sanity, if we have a town hall item and a town hall block, I want to know which one I'm working with.
So all lower caps,
Yes,
one word, town hall block.
yes.
So if I make a town hall block.json, that when you create it in the game, it will call that.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, where are our other blocks? Because, oh, mine site block is the other one. Oh, we've already got one for that. Never mind. We're good. And if we want to, we can create additional states for any given block. So for example, right now, the mine site block only looks at the state of facing north and team red, or whatever the team is, right? Whatever the facing direction is. We could add another state to it called, say, or, and that or state could drive that it's on diamond and give it a different look for mining diamond if we wanted to. We don't have to. I just wanted to, like, you can make these as flexible as you want now. You used to be limited to 16 block states per block because of the way Minecraft stored it, but from what I can tell, it's no longer the case because look what we got here. It's infinite because it actually stores them as different blocks now instead of the same block with metadata on them. They got rid of metadata in this version. Okay, what was the thing we were going to look at? Side of the crafting table. And I did see your message, Spooderman, but remember, it's not a good practice to download things from people on the internet that you don't know real well. Crafting table. Yeah, the side looks like it's probably 16 as well. Which doesn't surprise me. It is. Yep, 16. Yeah, that 32 does look pretty good, though. I'll admit.
What is the particle line?
So there's...
We don't have particles, right?
But every block in the game has particles that it emits. When you're running, you kick up dust off of the block that you're on, or if you fall from a high distance, you make a spray of particles out at your feet. That's what it uses it for. It's also block breaking particles.
I don't think we need that for the control point blocks.
We don't, but it'll look funny if you don't.
It'll look funny.
Mm-hmm. Not like when you go to punch it, it'll look funny, or when you run across it, it'll probably use the missing texture.
Oh, what image does it use then? How do I?
What I typically do is just pick one of the images that I've already created for it and use that for the texture, because I usually pick the one that's like the majority of the color of that block, right? So if it's like one side's blue and the other 5 sides are red, I'll pick red and just go with that. I'll pick the textures for the red sides. So that one you just had, just pick something wood colored. Pick one of the wood colored ones.
It's not a separate template size or...
No.
Okay.
No, it's the same images sets. You could make your own if you wanted to, but you don't have to, and that's an easy way around it, right? It's just reusing one of the textures you've got. My wife is telling me that there's going to be record lows next week because of an Arctic blast, blah, blah, blah. She sent me a news article. I let the dog out earlier. It's below freezing here. It was like 27. Assuming where you are, it's nowhere near that.
Oh no, maybe 50 today.
We're gonna go hiking tomorrow because I told her son that we would go hiking for his birthday because that's what he wanted to do. But it was like in the 90s every single day, and he's like, "I don't want to go when it's this hot. Can we go when it's cooler?" And it went from 80s to not even 60s in a course of a week. Right? And like today's high was in 38. Tomorrow's high is 38. So we're going to go out in the cold and go hiking tomorrow. Yeah, I have a son. I have a son in high school. I be old. I don't feel it. Most days. Okay, so what was I working on? The lobby, right? Let's go back to that. You've got me kind of excited about the blocks now, seeing those.
Well, just let me do my own thing and get a block done, and then we can decide if we want to go 16 or 32. I'll try and do both of these so you can compare a town hall and a barracks.
Oh, awesome.
And we can see what it looks like. I also need to fix the target textures.
Target textures.
It had that extra layer from the way that I made it and forgot to
Oh, those
delete
targets. Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So those are going to be a little bit different. They're not going to use block states. They're just going to be textures straight underneath the entity.
Yeah. I figured that out because I replaced in my push last night. I replaced the textures that you were already calling and gave them exactly the same name.
Cool.
So as it stands, if I didn't have extra,
They're too big.
if I didn't have the extra textures in there, then you could just like run that right now.
I might be able to run it right now, and it may not change anything.
Yeah, I'm
Because
kind of interested
they're
because it would
oblong
save me a
shaped.
couple of minutes.
My problem is it's going to roll back every other change I've done, including setting up IntelliJ. So I need to merge them onto a common branch and then do it. Like I can switch branches in GitHub, but it's going to remove everything I've done and just have what you've done.
If you merge, you can always roll back, right?
I could, but that makes the commit history a little messy. If I create a new branch, this is the easiest way. Create a new branch, call it like integration or something like that, and base it off of my branch, and then merge in your branch, and we're good.
Yeah,
And we
and
can
then
both
you can
just
set that up once, and then every time that you want to check some of the changes I've made, you can just merge my branch with the new branch that you're going to make, and you don't have to keep setting it up.
Yes, and then if I want to include the changes I've made to get it like an integrated one, we just both do a pull request into that. We're good to go. Or pull requests from that into mine, or however we're going to do. I need to get it myself off of master, especially as we start to come up with builds that are actually going to use for testing. And then I'll probably work off of some dev branch. We'll both go into the integration one, and then from integration into master. Because that way there's controlled stopping points where we can say test just my stuff, test just your stuff, test it together, and then push it over to where we're going to put it on the server once we know everything's good. If you start breaking master, it becomes hard to troubleshoot issues. Anyhow. Lobby. So we need to fiddle with the buttons basically, and we've got a button set up that is just for the ready button. We need to set up and save all the other colored buttons and set their active states based on which button we're clicking. So let's get into that. I need to refactor this, and that is Shift F6. What a control thing for something you do so common. Button ready. Yeah, I think you asked me that the other day, man. Or maybe you're talking about your game then, I think, weren't you? Okay, so that's button ready. We need a button for green, yellow, blah, blah, blah. BTN red. BTN blue. So CZ, does this mean I've pulled you off of your other project? Diverting your attention.
My engineering project?
Yeah, your space.
No, I'm working on that tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh man, it downloaded one image that has all four of the block sides. Why did it do that?
One image that has all four of the block sides.
Yeah, like a little map thing. The rest of them are just blank.
Are you using a tool or something?
I was using NovaSkin.
Okay, so does NovaSkin also export the JSON files?
No, well, I don't think so.
So in those JSON, you can give it UV coordinates as well that says, for this face, I want you to go to this part of the texture and use this part of the texture from here to here, right? It's more complex, but it's possible. That could be why it's all one texture. So, where is it called? Oh, I just had it open the other day. Cube. A block bench. This block bench app is really good at doing what you're doing right now, I think. So Java block item, click that. Texture size is 16, whatever, confirm. And then you model it out, right? Well, guess what? We're going to have a solid cube. So this solid cube is going to be a size... Oh, come on, I can't tab into it. 16 by 16 by 16. There's my block, right? So now I come over here, say create texture, and we'll call this one barracks top, right? And background color, we'll give it this red, I don't care. And then you come into this cube and tell it, I want you to use that barracks top texture, and you're good to go. So you can say, use this part of the texture for this face, because it's got the north, south, east, west textures on here. And if I created another texture, okay, it'd say blue, confirm. Then I think on this, where do we tell it which texture it is it's using for that face? Can we do face by face? Maybe we can't. You can do that in normal Minecraft. I don't know if you can do it in the tool. I thought you could.
Well, the Nova Skin
Paint.
web app is made for like creating texture packs of vanilla. So, like what it downloads is, since I based that off a crafting table, it just downloads the stuff for a default crafting table, and I guess the crafting table just uses one image that has everything in it.
It doesn't though. I just looked
It
at
doesn't?
it. They're all separate files.
Well, it has separate files, but only one file actually has anything in it.
No, I just had them open. So here's the crafting table side. Here's the crafting table top. This is what I was looking for on this. You can just draw right on the block. Back to edit. There's something in here somewhere. You can tell it to separate them off, probably. Like what parent it is or something. Hey, Gazer.
It worked before I changed the texture size. It gave me separate images, but once I changed the texture size, it decided it wanted to stop working.
Oh.
So I might try and just make a barracks instead.
I can't find that right now. So I'm going to get out of this because... Oh, and this is the other thing. If you go to display, it shows it in the character's hand then. The block. Which is kind of cool. You can tell it to rotate this specific block when it's in a player's hand a certain way and scale it by this much. And all of that's possible inside the JSON files. Different poses. Put it in a, wow, you can even put it in an item frame. What it looks like on the ground and in your GUI. Cool. They really put a lot of thought into this block bench.
Block bench?
Yeah.
Okay, I might look at it.
Looks terrible.
That was just an example, Gazer.
I meant the GUI. I don't know. I was only joking.
Oh. It's This needs to disable all of the color buttons. BTN ready, no, BTN red. Right, and it can't because they're not there yet. Oh boy. So I need to define those buttons before they're initialized. So red. Boop, boop, boop. And then active equals false. Might not have been initialized. That is very true. Like if you're faster than lightning, you could click it, but they're going to... Actually, no, you couldn't. It wouldn't be on the screen until all this code's ran. So you couldn't click it anyway. It should be safe to do that. Now what? Use and land functions should be final or effectively final. But we use this one. Fine, we'll call it from another class. Probably what I should have done anyway. Or not another class, another method, I mean. So let's actually put these outside of that class so that they are accessible everywhere. We don't need to set them to null anymore. We're going to trick the code, basically. Pick and make any block that you want with your name on it. But I don't want a block with my name on it. It's my name. Block can't have my name. That's amazing. Let me do it that way. Okay, let's just run this because I have a feeling it's going to fail horribly. So we're deactivating the button for ready in add button. Or we're activating it, sorry. And then in ready, yeah, we need to do another check on this. So if is utilities dot is get player ready, and we've got a reference to our player somewhere in this, I bet, hopefully, maybe a reference to player inventory, so we can save a reference to player. So player entity player and player entity dot equals inv dot player. So now we've got a reference to players, so we can say what the player is. What's my favorite block? That is a good question. So if the player is currently ready, currently not ready, we're going to disable everything because he's readying up. And then if he currently is ready, he's unreadying, so we need to set these to true so you can click them. Okay, and then we need to set our button, btn ready dot active to false. And in here we need to say btn ready dot text. What's it called? It is text there, isn't it? Let's do Control B on this. It's text. It's setting it in there on the super, and that is message. That's in super. Message is going to message, and message is used where? Set message, get message. So we can say set message. I think cat sat on your keyboard or something. Set message. Not ready. Watch that be too big. Say unready.
Alright, Tech, I just pushed to my textures branch with a 32 by 32 red barracks texture. So everything else should stay the same, but if you can load that one up, then you should get that first texture block in the game, in the Discord.
Okay.
We can see how bad that looks with
Okay.
the rest of Minecraft.
Let me test what I just built here, and then I'll create branches and
Yeah,
Verge and all
that's
that.
fine. It doesn't even have to happen tonight. That's probably all I'll do tonight, but I'm getting the hang of it.
oh, you type backwards to make it a challenge for me while I'm trying to code. I see how you are.
What?
Spooderman in chat. He sent
Oh,
a message
okay.
backwards. You even put the question mark backwards. Wait a minute, that's not backwards. My brain's backwards. Okay, come on, load up the game. Red, blue, green, yellow, ready. Those all okay, those all are disabled as they should be. And unready, if you click that, cool. Perfect. That way somebody can't change the team last minute with unreadying, which stops the game from being able to be started. Remind you of the lobby system of PA at all, Gazer? Okay. Lobby ready, unready is ready for testing. Okay, push that up to master. Now let's create a new branch off of master once that's done. Call it integration. Okay, and we're going to publish this branch up to GitHub, and then we're going to view it on GitHub. So I like doing my merging on GitHub itself. So new pull request, not from master, but into integrations. We're going to pull your CZ textures. Okay, create this pull request. So merging. So it was the barracks.
Yeah, and then you should have all those textures because I want to see if those work just as is.
Okay.
We can just create an issue to get rid of those later, and I don't have to fix it right now.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to do it on a different branch. So if there's any bugs in this at all, it doesn't affect the master branch for me to keep working.
Yeah, it makes sense. I was just saying, like, if it's, I want to see if I can delay having to go back and fix those textures.
Gotcha. So there we go. You can see all of my changes I've been making, including the lobby one I just did. And I see a couple commits from you as well. So this is a branch that has both of our changes as of right now. If you're not familiar with how GitHub works. If you make changes to your branch, it will not reflect in this. We'll have to do another pull request later to do that. I don't have a favorite block, man. They are all awesome. Okay, so this should reflect here in my code right now. So if I were to go down to the resources, let's make sure. So block, barracks, like barracks block down. Okay, yeah, cool. So they're not colored right at the moment, right? It's only...
Barracks red is colored. All the other ones are going to be the same.
Gotcha. I see it now. What's
So
the barracks
all
blocks
of them
down?
will call that barracks block down, but then the others
Okay.
call barracks block red.
Okay, and then barracks block here. Didn't change this one, right? Did you? Actually, here, let's use GitHub for my own sanity. So if I look at what you committed to, little town hall block.
Yeah, I started to do the town hall and then realized that it wouldn't work.
Doesn't tell me the whole path. Okay, so the red one. Let's look at the red one then. Gotcha. So you're taking north as being the front, which makes sense. And everything else is the side. Except for west. Oh, so you have two fronts. Okay, that works. I can't remember what block in Minecraft does that. Maybe the crafting table has two sides like that. So we're loading up the game now. Okay, that's the normal error because I have not changed one of the files. It's done loading. It is. I think the barracks block is the block I chose for the creative tab too. So let's escape out of that. Maybe not. That's interesting. Didn't change at all. Oh wait, that's because it's not red yet. So the yellow is the state that it uses for default in your inventory. Now it's on red. So it didn't like something. Not sure what yet though. So barracks.
Oh wait, the block that you place down is the same as the block that the structure. Well, wait, it's the same as the block that you'll go and click to do things.
Yeah. So this is what we put in the structure. So here, if we put down the barrack structure, wherever it is. Oops. This one. It's the same thing. And it's on, if I put Steam Green, the green one works still, so something about the red one. So that tells me it's probably not this block state file here, which I guess you didn't modify it, so it would make sense that would be broken. And then this is what's got an error. Why is that one? Deck language reference, okay, now. Oh, wait. Okay, so this part's missing. The RTS, it's the namespace for it. It basically says pull it from this mod, TSRTS, instead of vanilla Minecraft.
Oh, we have to discreetly define the namespace. It doesn't just already know that.
Right, because I could, in theory, pull something from Minecraft for my block. I could use
Yeah,
a
okay.
vanilla crafting table for it. It still doesn't like it.
Well, I didn't add that anywhere, so
I just changed it though.
TSRTS is in the block state.
Let's see if I just recompile the whole thing. Does that let me do it then? Okay, now it replaced. So now if I do F3T, maybe it'll work. Hey, we got top. I'm gonna pick block that, place it there. We got a top and a bottom. It's the sides that are not working right at the moment. Hey, Blue Boy. Trying to get textures loaded right at the moment for this. So blocks, side, and front it didn't like.
Did it get the bottom?
It did. So the up and down
The
are
bottom.
fine. The bottom. For the month, would you guys upgrade your internet or something? Where did it go? Okay, so that's what's wrong. You said barracks block red for top, but barracks block front, no red in it. Wait, oh, you had those without the color, didn't you?
No, the front and the side should all have a color in them. It should be barracks block underscore red underscore front, but is that not what it is?
It's not. For the sides and the front, it didn't say red.
Barracks block.
For top, it said red. For down, it said just down, no red, which is correct because it's the same for everything.
Wait, in which in the block model?
In the block
File?
model file.
Oh, I was looking at town hall.
So I am making these changes here on
Yeah,
my
I'm
side
making
just to make sure it works. And what I'll do is I'll commit them up to GitHub, and then we can do a pull request from this integration back to yours. You'll have these changes that you can use as a template then. There we go. Now, what this has done is you have side by side the same texture if that's what you want. That's how it was in your picture you sent on Discord.
Yeah. It has two different textures. One of them is the little tool side, and one of them's like the crate side.
Right. And what I'm trying to say is, do you want like the front and back to be the tools and the left and right to be the crate side? Or do you want them side by side to each other? You see what I'm saying? It's like I think if you put on a crafting table, it's got two textures as well.
So they're not opposites.
Yeah, it's fine for now. I'll as I'm working in the textures, I'll figure out which one.
I guess those
we
are
want.
side by side, aren't they? I never realized it. They are side by side, Gazer.
In the crafting table.
Yeah.
They should be, because that's what I based it off of.
Oh,
I always just thought like this one was over here and this was over here, but no, they're you can actually see them beside each other.
looks very cool though.
So how does it look when you compare it with when you put it in with a bunch of other Minecraft blocks? Can you do
Terrible.
that? Oh,
Can't
I guess
get
it's
it.
there with
Yeah,
the
I
sandstone tints and stuff. It doesn't look that bad.
No, it doesn't at all.
So like we might be able to use a 32 by 32 like that, and
I think with wooden planks on the base of the floor would be pretty cool. Or dirt.
okay, so I will probably do the same thing, but for the town hall, and then the town hall is going to be surrounded by a lot of blocks with different textures, and we can really see if we like the 32 by 32 or if we want to simplify it.
Okay.
Probably won't do that tonight.
Yep, that's fine.
This is cool.
Oh, the target entity.
Oh yeah. Did that work?
Let's call that a no.
I'm gonna guess no. Yeah. What in the world is going on with that thing?
It's because the texture is twice as tall, so it's compressing that vertically to make it fit in the distance. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, yeah, it does spawn.
Okay,
mode.
so I definitely have to fix that.
So let's summon TSRTS target entity. Oops.
That should be relatively easy to fix. I'm just gonna have to open it up in Paint or something.
Oh, we've got problems.
Problems?
Too many of these guys. And they're running across the fire. Stupid. Can't I select these guys? Oh, we might have made a bug. Got him.
Yeah, disobeying.
That one's made by me. This is Tester Red. They're not mine.
Wait, how are they not yours? Didn't you place down all the blocks?
They weren't mine because they spawned in with the structure, probably.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
But that's an actual bug.
Is that because team list red? Well, there's quite a few of them. Nope, TechStackDev. I thought maybe I wasn't on red, but I am. That's the first that's happened. I don't know about that one. It shouldn't be checking to see if it's on. Like if it's owned by me, it should just be seeing are we the same team.
It wouldn't have been through different commits, like when you compiled it again.
Not sure I followed that, Gazer.
As in when you reloaded.
When I reloaded. Reloaded the game?
Oh, it probably is.
All these guys spawned in just now.
I know.
Okay, it's not following then, I guess. Sorry. Let's just kill them all. And let's just go away from them. Barracks Builder.
Try it again. Yes.
Will it automatically pull the block model to the item model?
Yes, except that I just said the item model's the yellow one. It's because, I don't know. So, when you update yellow, it'll update that. Why is
Okay,
this not
so if I
spawning
made a variant for yellow, then it would just automatically work, and
Yeah.
we don't need another JSON file to define what the model, what the item is.
Which item? The item that you'd actually, like, the one I have in my hand right now that I can just place down and it placed down the barracks? Or are you talking about the whole barracks builder with builds all the wool and everything?
Barracks. The barracks block, that's what you place down to build the barracks?
The barracks block is just that block. The item, barracks builder item, is the one that will build everything.
Okay, so the barracks builder item takes the barracks block yellow texture model.
The barracks
Texture and
barracks builder item takes nothing right now. I haven't defined anything for that.
Okay,
That's the one that the players will get in their inventory and actually use.
so I guess I can make another JSON file that calls a texture for that,
Yes. And in fact,
possibly.
the barracks block JSON under the items folder is how I did this to make it a yellow block in my hand. So if we copied this into the name of whatever the frick this is, barracks block builder, barracks builder item, if we created that and gave it this code that's on my screen right now, it would be the barracks block for yellow. And it doesn't have to be yellow, I just picked a color. Yeah, these aren't spawning right, but I'm not sure if it's because we're in a weird mode or something. Because, like, they're not coming out of that block at all. Probably something I changed earlier there or something.
Do you set the team or what? Or is it supposed to already have the team when you place it down?
When you place it down, it's supposed to inherit the team of the person that puts it down, because the blocks don't have a team, they have an owner. And then whenever anything tries to call get team, it just looks it up from the owner. So if I make this green now, they start spawning. No. Oh, that's why they got red. Because I had done that. I went in, said green, and then changed it back to red. So that's... okay. That makes more sense how we got those guys to spawn with red. Yeah. That's how it happened. Okay. So, now that we know that... do we want... if you place down a barracks, and there's a guy standing around, do we want... and you're on red with me, do we want me to be able to select your guys being on your team? All three of us are on the same team.
I would say config option, but for now you can just say no and push that down the line. Future.
Okay. I doubt at first we'll play on teams anyway.
Because even Planetary Annihilation, there was an option to say whether you wanted to like share resources and troops.
Yeah.
So you could share resources and not share troops, or you could share resources and share troops so that I could command Gazer's stuff to go and attack you.
You ain't commanding shit. I'm not having that.
Okay,
All
so
the troops are mine.
we all know that if you play, no one will be playing because there'll be too much lag. So we'll have 700 units.
Anyway, there's too much lag if you place 4 blocks down. So
What are you talking
you wait
about?
5 minutes. Is it gonna be like a much longer spawn time or unit cap? I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll probably have to have a unit cap at some point. Even if it's something ridiculous like 1,000 or something. That way somebody doesn't just absolutely murder their system.
Well, and it takes, in the actual game, it will take resources to build, and it won't just
true.
infinitely spawn units there.
True. Very, very true.
So you won't place it down, and then after 5 minutes of forgetting about it, start to lag out everybody.
And it also won't have a 10-second timer on all these. I'm sure we'll have different timers for building or recruiting each troop type.
And you can upgrade the barracks for a higher respawn rate.
Future feature.
Future feature.
Future feature, and it will probably be for the entire team.
You just like murdering minions.
I do. Because that's less
Oh, you could upgrade the age, and the barracks would upgrade to a even fancier looking barracks.
oh my
I
god.
think that's
Anyway,
We could,
that's
but
the
yeah.
better way to do it. You do a research into a different age, and then all of your structures update.
be like Age of Empires, exactly.
Yeah.
uh,
I was thinking
Oh
you
my
just
gosh,
have a
my
tier
things.
2 of each structure, and then you would just have to create the new structure, so it would actually cost you to build them. That's probably more balanced.
Depends on the research.
Yeah.
Like the thing about faster recruiting, right? It could be that you're training your guy, your boot camp instructor, right? So that's not a building change. That's just he's more efficient at training people.
so it looks the same.
Yes, it looks like. Fix that bug with lore.
you could have a situation where you wanted to like build a barracks out closer to whoever you're attacking, so that you can just spawn troops there.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't like. You probably want a cheap barracks because it's just a harassment strategy.
Right. And I think some of the maps might help with that. And by that I mean, this is a super flat world. I can go anywhere that is not a building and just place one down, right? But in a normal world, you're gonna have blocks, right? That are just randomly different heights and all sorts of crap. That's gonna prevent you from building. The few people that have said something about wanting to build one, they're like, oh, I'll build a mountain in the center of the map and make the edges flat, and you build on the edges and you have to go around the mountain, or you have to go through the mountain to attack each other. Another person's like, oh, I'll build a valley in the middle and make flat mesas on the edges and stuff. Like, so those hilly spots or valleys are going to prevent you from actually getting in and placing a barrack there, right? You'd have to be like in their base kind of thing.
Do you still have the world file for AW2 server with the castle and the big wall?
Probably.
Interesting.
What are you thinking?
Interesting.
Look, we got plenty of work before we can actually start
So-
thinking about maps.
So what you might be thinking is one of the ideas I've already had is there's nothing stopping us from saying we want a custom game mode within this RTS, right? So in Age of Empires, there's a concept of regicide, I think it's called, where you have a king unit and the king dies, it's game over for you, right? Well, maybe we make a King of the Hill map where one person is defending and everyone else is trying to attack that person, right? So they're
Yeah, that's what we did in AW2. We had
Right.
attackers versus defenders.
right. And we could easily say that the defender already has all of his buildings there and he's team red, right? And all the other ones spawn around the edges and just need to build up and attack, right? See how long they can last, kind of thing. Like everybody else is team green, he's team red. Play it out.
Yeah, that's what we did in AW2, and it was fun. But we had siege weapons. We haven't talked about siege weapons yet.
Right. Well, you and I haven't.
Okay. Well, you don't need to completely recreate Ancient Warfare.
No. I was thinking more like a tank that you can
Oh,
get in and
gosh.
drive. Maybe that's one of the solutions for our lag, right? You create an APC, you tell your troops to get in the APC, they all load up in there, you drive the APC across, and then you say unload, right? Then you don't have to have all the troops in the world at all the time.
God.
Well, yeah, and then
Unload.
when they unload, you just lag out your enemy. That's what Gazer would do. He would get 6 APCs rolling in on you, and then just unload them all at once.
But like have a limit of how many troops can go in the APC.
Yeah.
And if it's player driven, he can only drive one APC, so
Oh, yeah, yeah.
that type of thing. And then Gazer never uses the APC because he realizes, I can just carry more with my command wands and control groups.
Jeez, you're all accounting for Gazer. This is just weird.
Build the mod around Gazer. Build the mod around your fringe case.
If Gazer unit cap equals
Shut up. I'm not having a lower unit cap than everyone else. That's just mean.
maybe I was gonna make it higher.
Yeah, right.
Higher, but still not enough.
This is
Oh,
amazing.
when it's... Hmm.
Okay, so what's next up for you, Tech, on development?
I need to finish out this lobby screen. So there's one more button I need to add to it. That's the start button. So when everyone's ready, enable the start button. And that's as far as I'm going to take the lobby screen for now, and I'll go off and do the other mechanics of what we actually want to do as far as unit control, selecting things, deselecting things, control groups, those type of things. Is the main purpose of this screen is going to be to allow us to select our team very easily. Click a button, hit ready, everyone else does the same, you're on teams, you go.
But we could still set up a lobby area within Minecraft and like set you to a team with command blocks, right?
Sure.
Sure.
The problem with that is it doesn't let you pick who gets on what team.
What do you mean who gets on what team?
So if you and I wanted to be on a team together and it was you, me, and Gazer, if we use command blocks, it's just going to randomize it.
No. Do you not remember what we did on?
So like when you push a button when you
TechCube?
get the closest person kind of thing?
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
team up regions where if you wanted to be red team, you go over here. If you want to be blue team, you go over here. It just automatically changes your team. You
Yeah,
don't
but that's
remember that?
something we have to do on every map we make then.
Yeah, well, I'm saying if we're gonna make a map for this, then you could pick a team, or I mean, it makes sense for development. But if we're gonna make a map, you're all gonna spawn in somewhere, and it might make sense to have you also teleport out later on.
Well, that's the other thing. Once further on, I'm going to create a block that's a spawn point block for each team. And when we make the map, we plop that block down, and that's where the players on that team will spawn. My problem with that is chunk loading. It's always been our problem with that, right? Maybe it's as easy as it's a single block that's a spawn that you just type the numbers into. But we need a way of saving where spawn is, basically, right? And that's the easiest way of doing that.
If it's an armor stand with a certain tag, you can just teleport them with a vanilla command.
Right, but I want to make this so anybody can make a map very easily. Not just
I'm
people
saying
in
like
command blocks.
if the spawn point block is an entity with a certain tag. I don't even know if that tags are still a thing, but you can teleport entities to other entities.
Yeah.
So if you just set it up to be a certain entity, then you can run the same command and just teleport them wherever. It doesn't have to be chunk loaded then, right?
The entity you're teleporting them to does.
Oh, never mind.
Is everyone
So
ready?
does that mean you can have a spectator class?
Spectator class?
So if you're doing a King of the Hill,
Maybe. I thought about on the lobby screen I'm building adding another button that says spectate. It doesn't put you on a team. It actually removes you from all teams, and then
makes
puts you
you
in spectator
invisible.
mode. Put you in spectator mode in Minecraft.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, but that's definitely not necessary for now.
Yeah, for now, doesn't matter. Why can't I fix this? Not used to this tool, this IDE yet. Drives me nuts sometimes still. Okay, is everyone ready equals false. That's our default. And then, now we need to set it to true, dang it. Okay. And then we need to check if they're all ready, right? And if they are, we'll set it to, if anybody's not ready, we'll set it to false. If this player's not ready, then it becomes false. And it's important we do it this way with an if statement around here instead of just setting as everyone ready to the value of this, because if it's true, we don't care. We want to ensure that everyone's ready. So if anyone's not ready, then we're not ready overall. So if is everyone ready, then it enables the start button. And the start button passes in its start button. Okay, cool. It's not actually going to have any real effect on the game. Let's trigger rebuild. Our hot swap failed, it says there, so we need to restart the game.
So, Tech, did you just code as in you're the server and the player at the same time? So there was a, if this player isn't ready, then, or hasn't clicked the ready button, then the start button. But then at the bottom it was like if all players are.
Yeah.
So it's player and server.
So the way this works is when you click the ready button, it sends a message to the server. The server then distributes that ready state to all the players. So all the players know what the state is of the other players.
Yeah.
So you are correct. This activation is only happening on the client side of this button, but that's okay.
But
This
then
isn't-
it will send it out to the server where it is.
When that button gets clicked, it'll send it out to the server. The fact that it's active will not. And I am dumb and put the button over top of this other button. So let's fix that. I did not. I actually made it say yellow too. So this needs to say start. It needs to be in a different position.
Above ready.
50. And it actually should be below ready, that's fine. Hesitant here. Let's make this 80. 70. Really? You're not gonna let me hot swap again? Oh, okay. And then down here, we want to say plus 20. And our X position should be 200, so it's right below ready. And it won't refresh here right away because we only show that when we go back into the world. Well, class reloaded, so it should work. Okay, we got our start button there. Should be down here. Y plus 20. Huh? Let's recompile. I don't think that took. Now it took. There we go. And start is active by default. Duh. When we click it, we don't care about any other button at that point because we're going to close the window. One more restart. Compile. Hot swap failed. That means I need to restart the game. Restarting the game is boring.
So did you make the button function, or is it an internal?
Oh, so I called the vanilla button code to create a button in Minecraft.
Simple then.
Somewhat. Getting them in the right location and size is a pain on spot we won't mention. Okay, so they're not there. It's not ready. So we hit color. Ready activates, start does not. When I hit ready, start didn't activate. Dang it. So currently everyone is ready. So as everyone ready is true. That's because I said false instead of true in here. So recompile once you realize that there's something to recompile, please. There we go. This one I shouldn't have to restart anything because it should just be automatic. There's the button that's active now. So I hit start, it does nothing. Ready.
Looks cool.
So I need the opposite state down here as well. So if somebody unreadies, so we just say else. And then recompile. And your name, or the, not the name, but the word yellow here will come up in yellow.
Fancy.
If that team's color is set to yellow.
What?
Minecraft has
What do you
team
mean?
colors, so team
Okay.
modify yellow color. Yellow. So now if I were to actually doing a kill, we'll do it too. Kill. Tech stack, yeah. Ah! Tab complete in this just doesn't make sense to me. I have it highlighted, and if I hit enter right now, it should select that, but it doesn't. You have to hit tab, and then it selects it. So see, it's in yellow. And if I go back to green, it's I didn't set green, but it would go green if I had green color. Ah, see, it still thinks I'm ready. I have to fix that. But that's just a bug because I killed myself. Which you normally won't see this. I've got a game mode that'll need to change when start happens. That will fix it.
So you already have a game state variable that
Yes.
tells whether a game is going on right now or not.
Yeah, so I can use that to flag whether or not throw players into the lobby or not.
Okay. Because you should have an event like when you hit start, you trigger a bunch of stuff to happen, and
Yep.
then when the game state variable changes back to the game isn't going on, whatever that is, then you want to trigger a bunch of other events to happen.
Yes, I
We
actually
just
set
don't
up
know exactly what those are right now.
I don't know if I did it here. Yeah, game state. So there's a startup phase, which is like the server starting and it's not actually ready for anyone to connect. A lobby state, which means it'll throw everyone in the lobby. Countdown, which is it's going to throw everybody out to all the different spawn points, set their game mode to the correct mode, because I'll probably start up people in spectator so they don't die, because I found out that right away. I launched my server, logged onto the world, and the zombies started killing me while I was in the lobby. And then once the countdown finishes, it'll probably say game starting in 3, 2, 1, and then it'll put you ready to go, give you all your gear. That'll go to the running state, and then when the last team, only one team left, has a T on town center, it goes in the game over. And it'll probably throws everyone to spectator mode again or something.
So are those classes, or is the game state just a string variable?
It's an enum. So an enum in Java and several other languages, you type a name, and the order within the enum basically equates back to an integer. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But instead of trying to remember those numbers, it lets you just type a name. Kinda.
No? Okay.
Doesn't the
Java.
list have two, like a key and a value?
No, that's a dictionary. A list.
Okay.
A list can have. It's an ordered set of any types of data, but in a list you would have those would be strings, and you could have the 0th index of the list would be startup. It'd be a string called startup.
Gotcha. But in Java and probably also in Python, string comparison is more expensive than integer comparison. That's why you do it this way. So it's like a variable name that means 0 in this case.
So when you're checking if what your game state is, you check what the index is that it's currently set to, and you just have like those indices are correlated to what the actual state is.
Close. You don't actually say is it 0. You say is it enum.startup. That way,
interesting.
There's no what's called magic number in your code that means something. There's a name for it that you can actually correlate to what it actually is. If I can find the event, it's events over here. I'll show you it. Handler events. Here, right here. So I'm saying the variable tsrts.current game state, that's my one I'm saving the value of what we currently are in, equals game state that enum name dot lobby. So if it's in the lobby state, it'll do this. So instead of saying if it's 2, I can say if it's the lobby. So from a readability standpoint, 6 months from now when I'm coming back to this, knowing what value 2 was is going to be really hard. Knowing what gamestate.lobby is really easy.
Nice. That's pretty handy.
What'd you miss, Spooderman? I'm not sure when you went exactly, so I'm not sure. We got some textures from CZ and we fixed up the lobby screen some more. But I think I've made it on this integration branch. You don't care about that, right? If I fixed up the lobby screen on integration. I mean, I can take changes with me to master, I guess. Let's do this.
Do you want to just rename integration and start just working in integration like you said before?
No, I'll start working on another branch altogether. I'll stop working in master. So I'll put this block state fix into integration if you want to pull that.
Yeah, I think I made the same changes on my own.
Okay.
I needed to go through it on my own just so that I knew what I did wrong so I can fix it everywhere else. And I gotta run for the night, so looking good. I'll probably have some more textures tomorrow, but we'll see how far I get.
Cool.
Good night.
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 And Spooderman, I get that's probably when you went AFK, but I didn't see when the message happened, so I don't know when that was. And there's no timestamp for me. Integration. So I'm creating a new branch off of integration, so we'll just call this one dev. I want to say master, but that's not the right term for it. Dev work. Oop.
So what is this repository that you're using? Is it GitHub with?
Yeah.
But what is this GUI?
This is GitHub Desktop. It's their
GitHub
own client.
desktop, okay. Cool.
Fix. Yeah, but the window I'm looking in, it's very, very small. Even then, if I knew that it was 15 minutes ago, I can't remember exactly what we did in those 15 minutes. Precisely, man. I'm not that good. Fix, oh, wait. Added start button to lobby. Publish this branch. Okay, and then the selection stuff is probably what we should work on next, but I kind of need to refresh myself with that a bit. We did have the key binding set up, I remember correctly. If I remember correctly. Where we did that right here. Okay, so control group 1 through 9. So that's 9 possible selections. Yeah, I'm probably not going to stream super long tonight. I gotta get up early. I'll be tired too. So, what's that?
Nothing.
You're too quiet, I can't hear you. What'd you say, guys? Oh, why did I do
Where's
that?
the live stream? Oh,
YouTube.
yeah, well, tabs. Bloody tabs.
It's in the stream notifications of Discord, that channel.
I know. Yeah, got it. God, I sound tired.
You do.
I'm not. Just sounded. Maybe it's because I'm trying to keep my voice quiet.
Ah. Somebody sleeping?
Yeah, but far away.
Still?
Maybe the whole block is sleeping. There we go. I've already had some sleep, so I'm fine.
Okay, that'll be our control groups then. And then we need a place or an event that handles the client event, I guess it is, isn't it? Okay, key control group. That is just the regular key. Okay. On client tick event, we need to see something about if the button is held for control, like a button control on your keyboard. That's gonna be probably in this class. Like a modifier, typically is what they're called, but if this business set or more control, one or more control keys was held down. Okay. Public static final key binding control modifier equals new key binding reference. Oh my gosh, let's do this one. There. I did just change that one stupid key in this. Control modifier. Ta-da! That's so much easier. Client proxy, then we need to register that. Control modifier. Then in here we can say if this is down and the control modifier is down, do whatever.
So what actually notices the control button press? I didn't see what part actually said that.
This part I'm typing right now.
Okay.
So I'm subscribing to the client tick event. So every tick, this code's going to run, and it's going to check is, you know, control group 1, which is Z in that case. How do I not get copy strike for the music? I have a license to use the music. I paid monies.
Oh, okay, so the mod underscore control, that's the actual key button press.
Yeah, yeah. So in the definition of this, if I go back to it.
So key underscore period, yeah, okay.
It's bit set if one or more control keys were held down. So I'm defining that as being the key, the default key for that key binding, and then I'm just checking the key binding to see if it's pressed. So if Z is pressed and our control key is pressed, then we need to... I'm just going to put logger notes in here right now. So control Z press. CTRL plus C. And then the same thing should just work for all these. Let's run it. And my plan is basically, if Control plus Z is pressed, then it's going to take your current selection and just store it into this. All right, that's how we're going to save our control groups. All right, so then the next selection you make isn't necessarily going to be for this. We'll need to clear out current selection, I guess. And then when every time you hit the non-control version, we move the control group back into player selection. Boom.
So how do you deselect? I mean,
There's no deselecting yet.
they all die. That's how you deselect.
Yeah. We could have
But
another
if you
button.
select from another group.
We could have another button that does a deselect.
Yeah.
I also want to make it so that, oops, I clicked on the wrong one. If you right click him again, it toggles it.
Yeah. So unselect. What if you had a group 3 and you select group 2's people and you put them on group 3? I assume it'll just move them across.
Oh.
They're
Again?
currently on group 2 and you try to put them on group 3. So just set their group to group 3. So
It would set, that would keep them in 2 and also copy them to 3. So
okay.
what's going to happen is player selection is what's currently selected. Like we've right clicked on somebody, right? Then we're going to
matter. Yeah.
set them to control group 1. I'm just going to copy that to control group 1. Then if you selected control group 1 and said, I want you to be control group 2, It's not going to overwrite control group 1. It's going to take
No.
current selections, because when you select control group 1, it's going to put it back into current player selections. Then player selection goes to control group 2. So you'll have them in both 1 and 2 in that state.
So when you're selecting control group 1 and there's stuff in there, then it will move that to player selection. Not copy it. It won't like delete it from group 1.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because in most RTSs, if you hit 1 again,
Yeah.
after hitting 2, it just takes you back to that selection that was in 1.
Yeah. Cool.
What I'm not sure is, I think it should do this. If you had 5 random units selected that weren't in a control group and you hit control group 1, it should deselect those 5 random units.
Yeah.
So I think that's
Yeah.
okay.
Well, that's what an RTS would do.
I think that's okay. The bad thing is I'm going to have to update the client with all these selections going back and forth. So it's going to be packets back and forth all over the place. And then also, what's the word I want to use? I'm going to tell the server when the client clicks these buttons on their keyboard. So it can do all the hot swapping back and forth of stuff. And then the glowing effect is something completely different. So we'll have to recode the glowing effect. Oh, anyway, so ZZZZZ. You can see the Z press is there. Control ZZZZZ. I just picked it up as Z, not control. Interesting. That's gonna be a problem though. And we're getting some render errors somehow. That's not good. So why does Control Z not work? Oh, is the modifier even set for us? Because I don't... Did we start up the game new, or was it already loaded? I can't remember. Control modifier, okay. Left control. It's bound to something else, so that could be the problem. We got a couple of them. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So you're holding control and then pressing Z
Yes.
every time.
I wonder if it's just the tick rate that we're getting the numbers from. And not me actually holding it. Okay, I'm holding control and Z, and that's what's happening.
What if you press both of them?
Huh. It's like the control... I wonder if my control key doesn't... My right control key doesn't seem to work at all. Oh, right, because
It'd be different.
it's a different binding in Minecraft. I wonder if that control is because the run key is control for me too. The sprint key. So let's set that to K for right now. So now if I hit Control Z, it still does it. Wow.
So it's missing some, is it?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fine.
Just spam it.
Yeah, just spam it till it works. Let's put this back to my sprint key, because I love that being in my sprint key.
You can have like the number of minions inside that group to be highlighted.
Number of minions inside that group together. Yeah, so the left side of the screen
Yeah.
I want some representation of what those control groups are, like what you've selected. So you'll know if it works or not, right? You can see that it does it.
Yeah.
But I want to try and see if there's another way I can get to this key information.
Yeah,
Because this is working just fine, the control group is. But the modifier
you
is
have
not.
like a event handler instead.
This is an event handler.
Yeah, but you're checking every second. I mean, every tick.
Yeah.
Instead of a wait for.
But I think
control
it's
button
on the
press.
button down event. Here, let's do this. Returns the initial key press. That's why we're not using it, right? For continuous querying, use, and there's nothing there, should be used in key events.
Use nothing.
Okay, it's there. It is key
Okay.
down. There we go.
Alright.
So is
But
key
why-
down.
Hmm.
What?
It doesn't seem like isn't it normally not a good thing to have one tick count to check. That's like a bad thing compared to have a check for when this button is pressed. As in, it's just a wait for button to be pressed.
Hold on a sec. I need to
Sorry, yeah, do it before.
ban someone here. Boom. Comes in and immediately says F you. Doesn't say anything else, just that. So, he's no longer visible on my channel.
Mm. Yeah.
So, I think I get what you're saying. So, like, you're concerned about it's gonna repeat it if you held it down. It's not. It's just the initial one that it's gonna get with this is pressed.
Yeah, but I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about every tick it checks. Isn't there a method in coding to do a wait for to be pressed, an event instead of a check constant?
Yes, but the way those events work, they check every tick.
Okay, cool. That's all I wanted to know.
Behind the scenes, that's how it actually works. Oh wait, we need to reload this.
Ah, that's probably what my own code uses, because I have event handlers that appear to not check every time or constantly, but they probably do anyway behind the scenes.
Wait, do we still have
Okay.
it set? So yeah, exactly, because there's only way. There's two ways, I
So
guess,
anyway.
but let's get that
No,
back to that, and then now it's working every single time. So having it say, "Is this press?" not on the press time, will work.
Cool.
So yeah,
That's sorted.
in computers, there's basically everything runs in a loop, right? And
Yeah.
that's what the event handlers do behind the scenes. They're just running in a loop and saying, "Did this one get pressed? Oh, it did. Okay, right." The exception to that is on old school keyboards that were hooked up through PS2 connectors. They would actually have something called an interrupt, where basically whatever the processor's doing at the time,
You would tell it.
it would fire off this interrupt code, and that would then let the processor know, oh, so the user's typing on key S, right? But the processor also basically has a loop to check the interrupts, right? So everything's a loop, right?
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So we've got this figured out. Now we need to create a method that basically changes the selections of these other the control groups. So if we were to look at the entities and figure out how I wrote the code for the selection in the first place, that would be awesome because I forgot.
I want to know. So yes. Continue.
Unit entity is probably it. Get team read additional, get custom. Where the heck is it? There's the glowing code. Oh, the glowing code works right. Cool. That we won't have to touch the glowing code. Never mind. Huh.
What do you mean it works right?
I'm looking
so
at my hash
there's
map to
selection.
see if they're selected or not.
Okay. It's already in there.
Yes. Oh no.
Oh no.
It's more complicated, but okay. It should still work, what I was just saying, but I forgot that I have a hash map of a hash map because there's multiple players on the server that have
People, yeah.
yes, people selected, and you need to keep track of your selections, and I need to keep track of my selections, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to send a packet to the server that says TechStack made a selection, please change it, server, and then the server needs to come back and say, okay, you now have this selected. Why am I not seeing this in here? It should be in here
Why does the server have to know it all?
for when you issue commands to the AI. So like when I'm clicking on a ground with my selected units, it here it is.
But why doesn't when you're clicking on the ground with a selected unit at that point it sends a packet saying this is my current selection?
Because that packet then just got a lot more complicated. Because you have to say, here is my selections. Also, it means someone could hack easier, right? Because you're trusting the authority of the client to be
Correct.
not selecting units that aren't his, for example.
Okay. That's a good reason.
Not that I'm doing like super intense things to
No. I just want to know reason. Want to learn. So.
what is CZ posting about? I don't remember that mod. I know it's a Reddit post, but is that the horses that he wants me to make?
Wow. Oh, I remember that mod too.
Is it an RTS in Minecraft? Has this already been done? Because I couldn't find it when I looked. Clay soldiers. Okay. No,
I remember clay soldiers. Yeah, it's definitely not. It was like a silly little. Anyway. That's cute. I remember them being made out of clay, and when you killed them, they dropped clay.
What?
The clay soldiers.
Yeah. It's Discord chat. That's Spiderman.
Your Discord. Again, I lose the damn live stream every time.
And my stream
There it
quality
is.
is really crap right now for me. Let me refresh.
Yeah, on previous episodes, I haven't been able to tell what the words meant sometimes.
Yeah.
I need my massive screen to see anything.
The problem with watching coding on YouTube. Like if the
Yeah.
person has it in like old people font, it's fine. Other than that,
Yes.
if you're watching it on a phone, nope, you can't read it. Too small. What I'm a little bit stuck on at the moment is I don't think I'm sending to the server what the selections are, but I could be wrong. Because this isn't something that's checking for the server at all. So when you select a player or select a unit,
It's client.
it's client and server. Because I'm assuming that event fires on both. And then it doesn't even bother here to send that selection. But we've got send teams to client. Okay. I don't know if the server ever knows. Well, I guess they're both in sync, but that probably explains when I leave and come back to the world, my selections don't keep. Also, I'm not persisting them. Huh. There's going to be a lot of work to do this. Let's start off with the simple parts, though, and just make it work on single-player worlds. So apply player interactions. We definitely want to select unit thing. And we basically want to copy select unit to say copy to control group. And then we need a number or something that we can translate into which control group to do it. Selected units to control group. Okay, and we'll just say int control group number. And I guess we don't need an entity ID in this case. And we do need to get which selected units it is. You lied, you back. You couldn't stay away. We're setting up control groups, CZ. We just need to take this selected units and copy it. And I'm not going to do that anymore because that ended up causing me problems. Okay, so now we need a switch statement. I need to fix this. Now I see that that's wrong. So switch, not that kind of switch. That kind of switch. On control group number. Number 1, 2. I guess it's case, isn't it? Case. Control group number. Plus. Still don't like it, huh? Why doesn't it like this? My formatting is off on something. There we go. Now I can copy this down. I like switches, but they're annoying too at times. As in, I don't use them enough to remember the formatting exactly. So I have to fish it out each time. And I know we want breaks in here, otherwise it'll run through the whole frickin' thing, which is just amazing.
So what are switches do?
So you see how I've got it says...
It's like an if statement.
It's like an if statement when you know there's going to be lots of values. And it will branch out through it. So it's going to compare this control group number variable to the value in each of these cases. And run it if it's
If it is that case.
yeah. Now the breaks that I put in here are here because once it hits 1, it will continue through the rest, which can be useful, right? If you wanted it to do, I don't know, add each time if it's under a certain number or something like that, right? But most of the time you don't want to do that, at least in my experience. So we basically
Oh, okay. So it would do
this.
1 and then check the rest, and it would do 2 and then check the rest.
yes,
As in, it would do them in parallel.
it would do them all from the point that it
In
matches
parallel,
down.
Yeah. So you need to break so that.
It doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got
It's
something.
not like an
very
if
odd.
state.
It,
Well, it isn't.
it kind of is. I mean, it is and it isn't. It's conditional, right? Who's my favorite YouTuber? It's a very, very hard question for me. So, we got cord cutters here at my house, and we only had YouTube and Netflix for basically the longest time. So, I watch mainly YouTube. I don't watch TV. I don't watch Netflix really even. Yeah, so that's a difficult question for me. This is gonna be a pain in the butt. We have to get the, not the player selection, but the control group. Player selection control group 1 in this case. We need to see if it contains the key for the player scoreboard name. That's a if. Because if it doesn't, it causes errors. Yay. And then we need to get that value and wait, we're just putting to it though, aren't we? No, we're putting to this selected units. Overriding the selected units portion of it. Let me think this through, because they're nested, it makes it more complicated for my head to understand. Because it's a player selection class, and the players. Thank you, Spiderman. Oh, it's not another class. Good, it's just an array. Not another hash map. So we can just completely overwrite that. Good. So we need to make sure it contains this key. Or do we? I think we can just put it. Because we don't care what the selected units are, we're just going to override them. Yeah, we can just put it, I think. So that's the nice thing about a hash map is you don't have to look up and find that specific value to replace that value, like remove it or anything. You just say goodbye and put the new values in. And it will find if it's there and override it, or add it if it's not there. Put player scoreboard name, comma, and then the selected units. I thought that should be one line of code, and it's going to be one line of code. I like that. Okay, why are you airing off though? Wrong second argument requires player selections. Oh, that's because that's the array inside of it. That's the player selections. There we go. So now we just change each of these. I guess I could have made an array of hash maps. Then I could just use the index of the array instead of doing this hard coding stuff, but we're only going to have 9 anyway. It'll be fine. I have a strong feeling that 9 is going to be overkill. When I play an RTS, 1, 2, and 3 is usually enough.
It's already done. It's fine.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to take them away.
Yeah, I know.
It's like,
But once you get different units and everything,
how many do you typically use?
Still fine, whatever. Different types of units. Well, I've definitely used 9, but that's when, like Supreme Commander, you had factories and stuff that you wanted to put on, like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, okay.
You had like engineers out there as well, and your commander, just in case you want to move him straight away.
Yeah.
Well, commander actually had his own button.
Select units to control group.
But yeah, this is going to be a lot more simple, so I doubt very much we'll need that. But I've been trying to get settlers 4 to work on my PC. I've got the CD here and it's never running. I think it's scratched beyond repair. And so is my second exact copy CD.
Between the two of them, maybe.
No, neither way.
But, like,
both of them launched the auto run, and both of them failed to install.
It's been
Start.
ages since I've done this because, like, I don't even have a CD drive on my computer anymore, I don't think. But there was some apps that basically, like, when you're ripping CDs, that would slow down the disk drive and read it a bunch of times wherever there was a bad sector on the disk to try and figure out what it was. And those might have been able to, if you had multiple copies of it, like eject the disk and then put it back in kind of thing. So between the two of them, if their scratches are in different spots, you might be okay, assuming like all of the bits line up on both disks, like they're exact copies of the same game, and it's not like a different version.
Yeah. That's where it's not the same.
Okay.
There's one that's got 2 discs involved, Gold Edition, and there's one that isn't.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Not gonna work.
No, that wouldn't work.
You might get a 0 where you want a 1, or a 1 where you want a 0.
Yeah. Well, it's 2 discs, so it's gonna be spread.
Yeah. It's just not gonna work, period.
No.
So we need to take... what do we need to take? We need to take that, put that in there. Oh. Okay, so we need to rip that out, and we need to do lots of if statements. So I'm trying to do the inverse now. So we've set one up where it says, take your selections, put it onto a control group. Now we need to do one where it's, take your control group and make it my selection.
Oh, that hit my brain.
Take your control group.
Oh, yeah, okay. So you actually select it.
Yeah. Yeah, the first one was I'm holding control and hitting Z, that's to save it. And the second one is I'm hitting Z to recall it.
So both of them are server information. Anyway, yeah, fine.
Right now it's doing both server and client. It'll be very, very incorrect from... But I will move it over to being server side. Because, like, it's just going to make things easier. Let's put it that way. Okay, and we need to take player selections, put it there, and get this.
Settlers 4 Gold Edition for $2.99? Well then, just buy it online, not use the goddamn CD.
Yeah, I was gonna say, save yourself some time, have it never have
Oh,
a scratch
I see that.
again.
Jeez.
If it's on Steam, you know, infinitely can download it.
It's not.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
It's on GOG.com.
They're kind of like Steam, aren't they?
Oh,
Assuming they don't go under. Assuming they don't go under.
yeah. Oh, Settlers was a great strategy, and it's a lot. Well, it's not that similar to what you've done.
I'll say, I think I know what game you're playing, and I think I played it and I liked it. If I'm thinking of the right game, I just remember like a path between buildings and like these guys go down the path.
That Settlers.
Yep. Okay.
2, like that was the earlier edition. Settlers 4 is no path. They can be anywhere.
Okay.
That's the one that I liked. Yeah, Settlers 3, you have to assign path. Which was really annoying for armies because that didn't really happen. But in Settlers 4, they were free roaming, and yeah. That's awesome. Oh, I can't wait to play the game now. Damn. But then I want to download Settlers 3 as well. I'm gonna have to buy them all.
Did you see the? I think you. Never mind. You watched PewDiePie the other day, didn't you? It was you.
Yeah.
The definitive edition.
The what?
The definitive edition of Age of Empires.
definitive.
Mhm.
So what does that mean?
Like they've updated the graphics in it, and I think
Oh, yeah,
there's
the
a,
H-
I think there's a new race or colony or
What?
yeah,
I didn't know
the
that.
Byzantines or something like that.
Jeez, that's cool. Yeah, I watched him play Age of Empires, but I didn't realize it was that.
So now I think I'm almost there. Bear with me, everyone. I guess I'm almost there. So utilities dot what the heck? Okay, I need to go back and rename that to lowercase because Java.
Good old Java.
I really don't have to. It's just you should.
I really wanted to get into freaking starting this again, looking at coding again. This,
Oh.
but just watching you, I think it's best if I don't.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Maybe that means that no, as in it's definitely not what you, not a bad thing, as in not you being a bad thing. Is maybe you're doing a slightly more difficult task. I don't know. Hell, I don't have a clue what you're doing, so that's just because you've got so many different files. Yeah, it's fine. I could definitely try to get in it from scratch, but I want to though. It's just that I don't have enough time to look at this shit.
Yeah. So with what I'm doing, a lot of what I'm doing, you have to be intimate with how Minecraft works.
Yeah.
It's just because I'm
Exactly.
modding, right? If you were creating your own thing, it's different.
No, I'll be doing it for Minecraft and then
Yeah. And like you probably know a lot of it just from listening to me.
And you only learned it from doing this as well, so
From watching someone
Yes.
else do it, yeah.
yeah. I remember watching someone else do it. I've forgotten who it was.
Palmer?
Oh damn. Yeah.
Now, Palmer's series, unless he's updated them, is highly out of date at this point.
Yeah.
But he gives you the foundations of okay,
course, so.
go look at the vanilla code. That's how vanilla does it. Figure out how to do it on your own now, right?
Exactly.
Which is a good thing to have.
I just need oodles of time. Where am I gonna get that?
Apparently, if you
Part of my
just
life.
start streaming every single day for a little bit, you spend oodles of time on this. That's what I'm finding.
Yeah, you're going really far in not that long a time. Space and time.
Okay, so we're catching
then-
the player scoreboard.
You took a lot from your previous knowledge, I assume.
Took a lot from my previous knowledge of
In how to do most of the higher end things like select units. Well, I suppose select units you've never really.
so that stuff was more like when I did bucket plugin coding, when it was server side only.
Ah, you did that, didn't you?
And in bucket coding, you have to do a lot of hash maps because you're not saving things to the world. And that means you basically have to store it in memory. I guess you could save it to the world, but you typically aren't writing it to the world because it's basically a vanilla server, right? You connect with a vanilla client. So yeah, I did a lot of the bucket stuff. So Deathcube and all that's bucket. We run it on Spigot, but Spigot is just a faster version of bucket.
Okay, so can you point me at a hash map?
Add a hash map in my code.
Yeah, just briefly. More in depth.
This is a hash map. So what this is is it's a key value pair. So it's defined as a hash map, but the key in this instance, and it doesn't have to be this, but it's a string in this instance, and the value is a player selection class. These can be any classes in Java, both of these. Typically, the first one's usually a string or an integer, something easy for you to like pass into it.
Yep.
But what it basically does is it's a memory structure that you say, I want to get by player name, the player selection class.
Oh, very simple then. So it's just okay. Yeah. Well, that's simple.
Why does my phone do this? Okay, there we go.
So what type is it? Is it an array or is it or is a hash map a different thing?
It's a different thing. I never really got into how they define it in Java. Extract path map, it's its own class.
Like a cluster.
It's map. The hash portion of it is probably that they actually do a hash function on it, so that instead of storing the actual value that you pass in, it stores what it hashes to. So if you're familiar with hash functions at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard of them anyway. As in vaguely in there.
So basically, it's a function that you put random text into, and it gives it a completely unique value out.
Yeah.
It's a deterministic one though. So if you put the same value in over and over again, you'll get the same output over and over again.
So it's used in keys and
Yeah, so when you use this hash map, let me go back in my code. You're going to say, if you want to look something up, you need to first say contains key, and then put the key in, so the name of the player in this case. You do that because if you do a get without it actually being there, it gives an error, which sucks. So you have to do contains key before every get, basically.
so TSR, TS, player group.
Yeah, the TSR is just my mod name. So this is the hash map.
So that's how you select it.
Hash map name contains key, and then hash map name get with the same value that you did the contains on, right? And this piece here is I'm just putting it into a different hash map, that same key, with this value from the control group that we've selected.
Yeah.
So we're making it into our active selections. That's all that's doing.
That's cool. So hash maps are easy to use.
They are once you get down the concept and realize that you have to do contains key before everything. Before every get.
Okay.
Puts are fine, they don't care. Gets do.
And do you have to pull into, what was it called? Initialize them in each part of the code? Or is it just assumed that the hash is available at every part of the code?
So what you're talking about there is why I'm doing this TSRTS, because it's saying reference this other class file. And in this class file, I define this as static, which means it's not actually part of this class. So classes in Java, if you create a class for a block, let's say, you can create 15 instances of that block class.
Object oriented.
Right. But you can create multiples of those. When it's static, it's only one in memory, right? So if I created 5 of these TSRTSs, which would never happen, but if I did, there's only one of this hash map, which lets you reference it from any other place in the code without having to create a TSRTS object.
That's cool. Yep, static inside. That's cool. Yeah, because that's used in my code, so yeah. Static is static, yeah.
Yeah, yep. And I do that because these entities, there's multiple entities, so when they get selected, you don't want to do something specific to that entity, right? You want to do it globally, because it's one selection that player has. One set of selections that player has. So that's why I'm passing it off to something that's static.
Yeah, that's fine. Cool.
At least that's why I do it that way. Hopefully I'm doing it the right way.
So if you didn't make that static, that would mean that what would that mean?
If I didn't make it static, then I would have to instantiate a variable for that and create an instance of that class. So in this case, because it's in TSRTS, that's my mod class. That's my main mod class. So like it would be like saying, load up another class mod, please. Which you really wouldn't, right? But
No.
yeah.
Alright, cool.
Okay, so this should be our code that we need for all of the control groups, with one exception, and that exception is changing the 1 to a 2 to a 3 to a 4 to a 5, etc.
Simples. So you mean all of the code then?
3. People are getting suspended on YouTube for commenting on live stream. What? Suspended? Why's that like? I can say a few minutes ago I had somebody come in here and say F you, and it blocked him, so I just automatically hid all of future messages from him. I mean, if you got a beef with me, that's fine, but at least say something about it instead of that. You know, tell me what I did wrong to make you mad when you're swearing me out, but you could tell it was just 100% troll.
What have you done wrong? Enough to be like,
Yeah, I'm making it up. Don't expect to have been done anything wrong. Not saying it won't happen, but
you're just doing an event all, so you're just including all cases.
yeah. Emotes, really? Why? See, like, that doesn't make... And so YouTube needs to understand the community of gamers, right? Because if you go to Twitch, that's like half of the chat, right? Is their emotes. And, like, they let you upload custom emotes if you're a streamer, right? And, like, people subscribe and get all of the custom emotes from all of the people they subscribe to, and they can spam them all over every other chat. I get they're probably like, oh, it slows down our system or something, but guess what, guys? You kind of need to allow your users to use your platform. Like, the notification thing should actually work. Okay, we got an error. Not sure why yet, but we got an error.
You're an error.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Because Minecraft was starting up. Dang it! So if... if this is not equal to null,
I'm enjoying Minecraft if at the moment. They've just added adventure positions that you can go to.
do what now? In Minecraft?
Minecraft Earth, the mobile app.
Oh, Earth. I didn't hear you say the Earth part of it.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. This whole thing then needs to be in that if statement. Because if we don't have that, we're not going to do any of these buttons working. Just pushed another update. All townhome and target textures should be working now. Okay. Let me get this working, because we might have something that's actually, like, cool looking at by the end of this night. And I need to stop soon, guys. So I'm going to test this. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't work, what I'm going to do is... if it's something easy, I'll fix it. But if it doesn't work, we'll just have to end with that. But we will go over to what CZ's got. So this either works or not.
Real name. Wow. Hello.
Wow, that description, Lake, of what you put into Discord covers exactly what I was talking about. YouTube has huge problems. Like, they just don't get people. I will check that out later, though. And it started a long time ago. This isn't something new. Oh, the item might even work. Are you kidding? Awesome. We will need different items for all the different mine sites, though, if you think about it, right? Because you'll need to know which one's which. Of course, it thinks I'm not on a team, so it's not going to work, right, is it? Okay, just wanted to make sure people here were aware of it. Yeah, thanks, man. Let's get a wand. Let's get a barracks. Let's spawn some people and see if I can select them and put them on a control group. Now, what's not going to happen is we're not going to deselect anything. Oh, yeah, we will. We will. Let's right-click you and notice that he's yellow. I'm going to put you on control group Z. Okay. And then I'm going to select control group Z. Yeah, see, I don't think it's working.
Oh,
Let's
you've
do-
got a yellow bounding box? That's
Control
cool.
group X. Yeah, because I colored the team yellow. Okay, so they are both on X. If I select Z, they both are still selected. Something's not working.
No.
Okay. You said just pull the item yellow block, right? I didn't change anything for that, but yes, we'll change their texture. Item texture. Right, so I'm not talking about the block item. I'm talking about the builder's items. They don't even have JSON files, probably, so that's probably why you're not thinking about them. So let me commit this stuff up. Worked on control group selections. Boop. Okay, push to origin. And then we'll go to... You pushed it to CZ? Integrations, dev work. Wait a minute, where's yours? CZ textures. 4 minutes ago, cool. So new pull request from CZ textures into integration. Oh, you put nice messages too. Fix target textures to remove nonsense. Added town hall textures for all 4 teams. Block state and model JSON updated to match. Create pull request. Merge has conflicts. That's okay. We'll resolve the conflict. Is there a way to say which one's which? No. Oh, this is from yours. This is from mine. This would not work. So this portion of it, CZ, is not needed because we're saying we want to use the vanilla's block cube. So I'm going to take my piece of it because I know this worked. I'm going to delete that. And delete that. You're fine. Mark resolved. Commit the merged. Ah, you're fine.
Bloop.
Into integrations. Confirm.
Get is good.
Branch can be safely deleted. Delete. No. Don't think CZ would like us very well if we did that. So what you might want to do is the reverse of what I just did. Take integrations and put it into your branch. That'll take the fix that I just did and put it into your branch.
And then you're all the same.
And we're all the same, and then there's no merge conflicts next time. That was an easy merge conflict to deal with. They can get complicated. Okay, so I should be updated here. I might need to trigger a holy crap, look at all these files he's created. Awesome.
You definitely didn't go to sleep.
Build. Me or CZ? Who are you saying that need to go sleep?
It's easy. Been here the whole time.
We just got him excited about the game, though.
Yeah.
Looks
Well,
like
it
your
is
other one's right
exciting.
there. So you even got a sample item? Wait, did you create one for sample item? No, I did that. Never mind. Yeah, it's still my ugly texture. Cool. Look at all these.
Loaded already. Jeez.
It's loaded.
Chop chop.
On the different colors on all the sides. Did you make the bottom a different color? Not that it's needed, but good grief.
Oh, colors. I suppose it was quite simple to just add a little color, but yeah. It's all
Taste the
cool.
rainbow. Not a sponsor.
You just have to say that. It's like a reflex. Oh, one day when you can get sponsors, eh?
Yeah. Well, those ones don't have anything fancy. In fact, that's yellow now instead of red. Oh wait, I'm on yellow. Never mind. There. Shut up. So yellow doesn't have, not for the barracks. Doesn't have one. But maybe that's not what you're trying to say you did. Let's look in here. Okay, those are all the same, the items. Okay, we need to fix the item form of the town hall block, but that's simple. Oh yes, the house is the perfect thing for that. He's like so delayed at this point. The
Yeah.
bottom is not working on yellow. I can't change their team. Derek's only has red. Town hall has all four.
Archery range.
It is an archery range. The barracks block I can force to red. Okay, let's do that one. So, oops. Get off my block. There. I like it, man. You can definitely tell what team it is. Do we have it as a star, or do we have it like a player head because it spawns the minions, or do we have it like as a sword because they're melee units? So I'm just thinking we're gonna have one that's an archery range too, right? And let's see. So if I place one like one of these, place one like that. Oh, they're not rotating. They aren't rotating. I must not be doing it in my code. Oh, you actually want to build a town hall. You want the whole thing, huh? I forgot that you wanted to look at it that way. It's blocky enough. I say it fits. Yeah, they're not. I must need to rotate. Fix my rotation code or something. Wait, what's the facing direction? Facing north. Facing north. Still facing north. Cool. That's my rotation code. They don't particularly look right. Unless that's the shade of yellow that you want them to be. Wait, why am I on... Didn't I switch teams? Team... join red. New town hall. There they are, they're red. And notice the other one's red too now. Except for the town hall block, but this town hall block's red. What's broken about him, man?
Such lag.
Cause she's like, I wanna see, I wanna see. Huh. There's no JSON for these, so if you did you put any JSON file for these? So this is in my code as to what it should be. Oh, I bet I know what it is. Target entity. I know exactly what it is. So we're the renderer. Target render is going to do a bind in texture somewhere in here. Bind entity texture. That bind entity texture does this code, which gets these textures with these names. So target entity yellow, target entity blue, green, red. Yellow's in there twice because that's the default one. I probably shouldn't do it that way, but I did. Then in the other piece, the model, the minion model, no, the target model, we're gonna set texture offsets. And because it's not a basically we're only getting a few pixels of it, right? Because it's 32 by 32, I think. So when it renders the box, it's going to take those texture coordinates set on the box. Let's do it in child calls. Okay, I don't want to have to dig through that much code. No, I'm on integration. So if I look at it on GitHub, your CZ textures. Where is it? Commits, there it is. Gosh. Under CZ textures. Yeah. I guess it did pull in stuff. It shouldn't though. It shouldn't do that. We didn't merge directly. We merged branch integrations into CD textures. I didn't do it that direction. I did it the other direction. Into integrations from CZ textures 10 minutes ago. From this to this. The heck? Close pull request. Everything's going into integrations. Okay. Yeah, we might need to get everything in one working one and then recreate our branches or something at some point if it continues to be a problem. Like get everything up in the master, delete our branches, and then just recreate them. So what I think's happening here to these is it's pulling the wrong UV coordinates off of the texture because the texture's too big. But I'm not 100% sure about that because this is going to be based off of that cube code. And the cube code just says set the texture coordinate to 0. So it should be the upper left-hand corner. They don't need a JSON. It won't read it. Entities don't work the same. Where's the code model target? So this texture offset. Yeah, but we're doing it different than the shulker. I don't know if we use the same type of model setup as a shulker. It probably has more than one single box. We're just creating one box because we don't need to open up. So if I do... and then tell it, okay, shulker box... model... The heck, can it actually be a... that's a block for the entity, so shulker... That's a tile. What is it not called shulker box? Maybe it's just shulker. There we go. Shulker model. Yeah, see, it's multiple different parts to it. There's the lid, there's the base, there's the head. And each one of those set texture offset. It does set a width and height on that though, so maybe we can do that. It's 32 by 32. No, you're gonna hear that like 6 minutes later. I'll probably have it already coded by the time you say it. But we're still gonna try. So box.set texture offset. We don't want to add a box though. (16 by 16). Okay, good night, Spider-Man. Spider-Man. X offset. So it's this piece of the code. So we're just setting the texture offset in our creation, that's fine. So our add box compared to theirs does that. It's setting them to negative values, which so are we. Our scale factor is 0. Their depth is 16. What the heck? They don't have a scale factor set. Let's try removing that from mine. And we'll have to spawn a new one. Summon TSRTS. Target. Still looks funky. Let's restart the... oh, wait. It was still not recompiled. Thanks, IntelliJ. Because that's the size of a block. Remember what you were looking at just a second ago might have been the lid or the head or whatever. Okay, let's restart it. I don't think it's having any impact on it though. It just renders the base and the lid. Texture width. We're setting it to 16. Never mind. Oh wow, the herd has arrived. Texture size. Nothing to reload even though I changed something. Thanks. IntelliJ. Yeah, it didn't look any different. Let's go back to the render real quick. Target renderer, pushing the texture to the active texture. It's these like we said. Make sure the names are the same as what you got. So we're under textures, entity, and we're looking for target, entity, yellow. No impact. Just want to see if the code is getting updated. You should see a huge projection on one of these boxes, huh? It's not getting updated. Unless it's down underground it. No. Eh. This might be my last test, guys. It's midnight. If I go to sleep now, I'll get 8 hours sleep at most. really weird though. It's like it's only taking 1 pixel of the texture. Right, because it's like it's this color. Maybe I need to look at like the minion code. Adds a box. Size, set rotation point. Nothing about texture UV coordinates. What the heck? Yeah, it's bedtime. Looks like the render code will need more work, but the texture should be fine. Yeah, the texture file should be fine. I just need to figure out what's going on. See if this works now or not. Hopefully. We have a big long leg coming out of this thing somewhere. Probably vertically. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so it actually updates. And notice it's picking up the... Interesting. There's your texture, right? It's spread across it. That is actually kind of useful having that. Are these not the X, Y, and Z size of the... It almost seems that way, doesn't it? You're saying, I get what you're going for, 0.0625 F. But we needed to update. Genius. So how does that happen? My YouTube doesn't say that message, but my restream does. Build. Let's build finished, and it doesn't update in the code. Because the target model isn't being reset, so we need to restart the game every time we make a change to this. Awesome. It's going to get kind of tiring. Yeah. Because this model must be being called on initialization of the world, or the Minecraft game. So that code doesn't ever get reran. This is the final time. Shut up.
Quack.
I'm still saying that in 30 minutes, Gazer. Kick me from Discord or something. I don't know.
You won't be, you'll be fine.
Yeah, hopefully this works and CZ's right. What I hope doesn't happen is that it's itty bitty bitty in the world now. It still has the same texture problem, but it's just really small. Or it's normal sized and just doesn't work at all. The heck? That doesn't make any sense to me. It's actually a little bigger, CZ. That's what's wrong. So it did scale it up a little bit. So we definitely don't want that. It should be 0, which is what I had it originally as, 0. Yep, good night. It's got to be these first coordinates here. And that's the position of it. I don't understand. Let's... model box. Where's your definition? Texture U and V. But no size. Position texture vertexes are achieved by going position vertex Y and Z, and whatever this is between 0 and 8. They're not 8 textures. Like 8 size textures.
The 8 positions around the building. It's not 8 positions. It's only 6.
I think tiredness is starting to set in. Shut up, Gazer. Why is this not making any sense? I guess we could step through the code, but that'd take a long time. I don't want to do that. That texture size. Turns the model render with the texture size parameter. There's texture offset and texture size. Aux.texture size is 16, comma 16. The offset zero comma 0. Last times. No, for real. If this isn't it, I don't know what else to do. Good night, CZ. I don't know how long you said that, or how long ago you said that. This is so much the last of the last that I'm gonna start shutting other things down on my computer that I can.
Committing.
Hmm?
You're committing to it. No.
I have to. It's probably like sunrise for you.
No, it's really dark nowadays.
I know, that's all there is here. I get off work and like 10 minutes later it's dark.
Yep.
Time's changed over the last weekend. Daylight savings.
Never see sunlight again.
Yep. Okay, didn't work.
Night.
Well, thanks for hanging out, everybody. If you haven't already, be sure to
subscribe now.
and I'll catch you next time. Bye.